Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, how are we doing today?
What? We do it all right. We do it all right, Jenny. We do it all right.
You're right.
Goat mask. Where is
See?
the baby goat mask?
See? There you go.
AD, he got 2 rebounds? Wait a second. JaVale got 1 rebound and Dwight got 1 rebound? That's 4 rebounds from all your bigs?
Between 3 guys
What
that's 6'10" or taller.
I don't get it. We got to talk about it. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. I want you to have that same energy on Friday.
Yep.
That energy
will.
you got right now,
Okay.
I need that on Friday.
You got it.
Okay.
About the Cowboys. But
No,
that's
no.
okay. Yeah.
No.
I was worried about you last night with that loss, Shannon,
it hurt.
from the Lakers. And how about we break it down right now, guys? LeBron put up his 3rd triple-double this postseason, but it wasn't enough against the Nuggets last night. Denver led by 20 as late as the 4th quarter before LeBron poured in 13 points in a last-ditch comeback attempt. Jamal Murray finished with a team-high 28, 10 of which came in the 4th to fend off LeBron and the Lakers and hold on for the 114-106 win. So, Shannon, what is the biggest reason the Lakers lost this one?
They lacked intensity. They came out and looked like a team that was up 2-0. And they just thought, you know, we're going to come on out here and do what we do and not play hard. And, Skip, you could tell early on the Nuggets were getting whatever they want. They drive, lay it up in the paint. They let Yoke get to his dominant hand, his right hand. Look, he's a phenomenal player. He's going to make shots, Skip. That shot that he hit with AD with the clock winding down on the right foot. I know most guys, Skip, that's right-handed shoot that shot. Dirk Nowitzki made it famous. But he shot it off his left leg. I've never seen a right-handed guy shoot that shot off the wrong foot and make it. I mean, because when he shoots it, I expect it to go in. Everybody's like, oh, that's a bad shot, clock winding down. I expect it to go in. But I did not expect the Lakers to look this flat. We haven't seen them, even against Portland, Skip, the first game, even against the Rockets, the first game. They didn't look this flat. I'm like, bruh, do y'all realize this is the Western Conference Finals? And you mentioned it. AD 2 rebounds, and they came in the last 5 minutes of the game. AD played 43 minutes. JaVale, 1 rebound. Dwight, 1 rebound. If you tell me, Skip, that the Nuggets will out-rebound them again by 19, if you tell me they're going to turn the ball over the Lakers, I'm going to say the Nuggets are going to win the series. But I don't believe that. I believe LeBron and AD will play better. I believe LeBron will be more aggressive. Because I thought in the 3rd quarter, AD got it going. And it seemed like LeBron was resigned to say, you know what, AD, you got it going. Hey, we're going to keep going to AD. But, Skip, they had given up so much ground. They had dug themselves so much of a hole. Maybe if they don't allow it to get to 18-20, maybe if it's 10-12, now they can complete the comeback. But I thought the Lakers played like a team that was up 2-0, like they had a throwaway game, and they threw this game away. But what in the process, what you've done is that you're giving these guys confidence because now they think they can beat you.
They do.
They feel like
Jamal Murray for sure thinks he can beat you.
Yes, and he's talking like a guy. He sounds like
we should be up 2 games to 1.
And Skip, I've seen this story before.
Yep.
The thing is with this guy, when he gets hot, and people like those last second shots, because I saw him in Game 7. You remember the clock running down, and both times and he's throwing up threes from 30 feet, and he's switching. So he has confidence, and they're gaining confidence. But the problem that also I have, Skip, you can't have every guy that played for the Nuggets, with the exception of 2, attempt equal to or more free throws than LeBron James. That tells me he's not driving the ball, he's not aggressive enough, or they're not calling it.
Yep.
So for me, that was the difference. They just lacked intensity. They came out like a team that was 2-0 and had a game to throw away. I know for certain, and I don't care what the line is. I won't do on it right now.
You want to do?
I won't do right now.
I think I got the Lakers, but that's
No, you ain't got no Lakers. Hold on, you got to take the Nuggets.
Lakers in 5. No. Okay, but first I want to talk about what I saw last night.
Okay.
One of the weirdest flip games I've ever seen. And by the way, to your point, before we leave that alone, your man, the greatest driver of the basketball in the history of this game, the ultimate freight train at 6'9", whatever he weighs now, 250-ish. He gets to the free throw line and shoots 2 for the whole game. He's 1 out of 2.
And those are flagrant.
Huh?
Those were flagrant. They weren't the
It was the flagrant on Jamal Murray, which I want to talk about a little later. Okay, other oddity, weirdity of the fourth quarter, the guy you were just raving about, Jokic. In the fourth quarter, Jokic took 1 shot and missed it and scored 0. And the Denver Nuggets won the basketball game. Can you please explain this to me? Well, I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to start with your opening premise, which was, for some reason, the Lakers weren't into it. I thought they would go for the throat. I thought it would be a wipeout. But to wipe out Denver, you usually need to wipe them out first instead of last.
Right.
You need to put them away in the first half and then just say, we're going to keep pushing and pushing and hold on. Okay. So what did I see right away? I saw something happen very early in the game with about 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. I saw your man LeBron James guarding Jeremy Grant, who rose and shone out of nowhere on both ends of the floor last night. We could see this play. I'm saying, King, what are you doing? Because Jeremy Grant just says, oh, watch this. And he just blows right by LeBron and shoots a left-handed layup. That was the moment when I said, to your point, okay, so you guys aren't into it tonight.
Right.
Now, let's fast forward all the way to the 10:36 mark of the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And they're still at it. There's still nobody's defending nobody here. And we see Jamal Murray get a rebound on one end of the floor. Watch this and go coast to coast. Watch this. Jamal fights for the rebound over Caruso. And here he goes. Caruso, get him. Stop ball, Rondo. Stop ball, somebody. Somebody stop ball. And he just keeps dribbling, and he flat out slams it in their face. And this was like the ultimate humiliation, and he shimmied a little bit off that one just as he did on that last second 3. And my point to you is, at 10:36, that dunk made it a 20-point game. It's 97-77. What? The Lakers are down 20 early in the fourth quarter, and they look like they're dead in the water.
Yep.
I tweeted, it looks like they're quitting. I'm not saying they've quit yet, but they're quitting.
Right.
And then guess what happened? Your man came to life. The first thing he does, LeBron, was, and again, they're desperately, hopelessly behind, but he shoots a 3, and he finally makes one.
Right.
And that's 10:05 left. And I still didn't think much of what was about to happen, but he all of a sudden, he ignites, he electrifies, he leads them on an incredible 21-4 run. How hard is it to go on a 21? It happened in 5 minutes.
Right.
It demonstrates to everybody out there how much better the Lakers are than the Nuggets. They just are. They're just better all the way because their 2 best players are considerably better to me than these guys' 2 best players. And all of a sudden, King says, I got this. And all of a sudden, he goes on fast break dunk, then he goes on a fast break layup, and then he gets another fast break layup, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And they have him on the run. He stole the ball. Rondo stole. Rondo was disrupting, obviously, on defense.
He seemed to be the only one that came to play last night.
Okay, all right, for a little while. And all of a sudden, LeBron makes an uncontested, just a driving layup with 5:26 left. Nobody even really challenged it.
Right.
He just laid it up off the glass. And guess what? They're down 3.
Right.
It's 101-98, and we got a ball game because we got 5:26 left. What are you thinking at that point? Aren't you thinking, we got this?
I was thinking, Skip, if we can just tie it up.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We can just tie it up.
Which brings me to the shot of the game. For me, this is the
KCP?
shot. No, he shot it before.
Okay.
He did have a shot at, but 3:58 left. And again, I am honoring your contention. This is the GOAT. This is the guy who thought he should have won MVP, that I thought should have won MVP, and he came up with an MVP moment shot. If we could see the 3 that he took a step back. This is 3:58. This is to tie the game. This is, okay. This is the
I think this is the drive.
Okay, this is the drive. Okay, that's just like Jokic has no chance. It's like, stop it. Okay, so now here we go again. Step back 3. This is to tie. And if this goes in, I got to tell you, I think it's ball game. Because Denver is going to be psychologically crushed that they blew a 20-point lead. And he missed it side badly. It was just way wide left. And I thought when he shot it, it was going to go in because it felt like they had Denver completely dead to rights on the run, where they were just psychologically devastated. And instead, he missed it. And then he comes down with 3:05 left, and he has a little step back in the lane from 8 feet, and this was to cut it to 2. And I thought they still had a real chance. This is the
That's just 3.
3 again. Okay, here's the next play. Okay, this is, for him,
this is his shot, Skip.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is what he does. This is what he does.
This is shot right here.
And he's pretty open.
Yes.
And he just missed it.
Yep, sure.
Okay, so LeBron James had a sensational fourth quarter, because if we just look at the raw numbers.
And those were the 2 shots that he missed.
I know. In 6 of 8, he scored 13 points. But the problem was he scored 11 of his 13 in the 21-4 run.
Right.
It only covered 5 minutes down to the 5:25 mark.
Right.
And then he has 2 chances to just get it. You know, these are devastating shots, and he didn't. He got them right to the threshold, and they wouldn't have been to the threshold without him. He could not get them over the threshold.
Skip, you remember when they had a fast break, and AD passed the ball to Rondo, and Rondo fumbled it out of bounds.
Okay.
I mean,
Can't do that.
It's just things like that where you're like, you know what? Skip, in the first half, what about Caruso? Skip, Caruso is 5 feet from the basket.
And he loses the ball sideways. He shoots it behind the basket.
I like Caruso.
It might be the worst shot I've ever seen.
He hit a Paul George, but at least Paul George was from the
I
three-point.
think he was going to try to arc it over the back, and he just lost it a little to the right, and it looked really ugly.
And he missed a layup earlier. I mean, they missed like 3 or 4 point-blank layups.
So to your point, as much of a fan favorite as he is, I'm not sure he's ready for prime time, because look at the final box here. Caruso goes 1 for 7 and 0 for 4 from 3. I don't know if you can live with that. 4 turnovers.
Skip, he had some great looks. He had 2 of his threes rimmed out. I mean, they were down like, ooh, that's nice, and it just like, and it spun out. But Skip, he plays hard. Look, for an undrafted guy, he gives you effort. He tries. He gives you everything. He doesn't cheat you, Skip. And I think that's the thing, and that's something to be said. The Lakers need to understand this team feels like they belong. Skip, you don't get to in a series sport, you don't get to the conference championship without belonging, because it's not a one-off. You got to beat somebody 4 times. If somebody beats somebody 4 times racing, they says that guy is faster.
That is true.
If somebody can beat somebody in a fight, if I fight somebody 4 times, they're going to say that guy's just better. Well, they beat the Clippers 3 times in a row. They beat them 4 out of 7.
Yep.
They did the exact same thing to Utah.
Yep.
So they belong here. They're not in awe. This great story of the Lakers winning the championship, LeBron's getting number 4, AD, yada, yada, yada. They're trying to wreck this story. I want you to understand that the Nuggets are trying to wreck your fairy tale ending, Lakers. Well, and if you don't take them serious, they will.
Wreck the Clippers' fairy tale ending, right?
They did.
Okay, so now to the most stunning stat of the night. The most stunning stat I've seen in a long time is that the Lakers got out-rebounded 44 to only 25.
Right.
To LeBron's credit, he had 10 rebounds.
Right.
So he had 10 of their 25 rebounds. So he gets 0 blame for this.
Right.
Do you realize the 25 rebounds tied for the fewest the Lakers have had since 2006?
Right.
In regular or postseason.
Right.
2006. We have to go back 14 years to find a game in which they had only 25 rebounds. Well, what do we always say about it's just desire.
It's desire. Absolutely.
It's just your heart. It's just, do you care or not care? Do you want it or not want it? And apparently last night, the bigs especially did not care and did not want it. Okay, so what do I always say about these games? In the end, when you boil them all down, it's just a 3-point shooting contest.
Right.
The Lakers are a below-average 3-point shooting team.
You being nice.
Okay, and they have survived because they've had a couple of little hot streaks in the first 2 rounds that got them over the hump. But last night, they shoot 6 for 26. Well, that's not going to win you a lot of games.
No.
Because that's 23.1%, right?
Yes.
Okay. Denver wasn't a whole lot better, but 11 of 29 is 37.9%. So look what happened.
Well, you're plus 15.
Plus 15 from the 3-point line.
And you're plus 9 from the free throw line.
Plus 9 from the free throw line. That's 24 points that you gave away at 2 lines.
Right.
Well, the odds are you're probably not going to win that game.
Exactly right. Unless your two superstars go bananas. They go, instead of LeBron having 30, he has 40. Instead of AD having 27, he has 35. It's going to take effort like that to overcome this. Skip, I didn't realize this because I'm looking, I'm like, but damn, I haven't seen AD get a rebound yet. And it wasn't until I'm talking to Steve, Steve like, AD just had 2 rebounds.
He did.
And he only got those the last 5 minutes of the ball game. Skip, AD 6'10". Dwight Howard 6'10 and a half, JaVale 7 feet. You got 3 guys 6'10 or taller, and they give you 4 rebounds. AD played 43 minutes.
He did.
43 and gave you 2?
And
what kind of stat line is that, Skip? 27, 2, and 1. What kind of stat line, what kind of stat line is that?
And by the way, for 3/4 of the night, I thought he played out of control. Like 4 shots, he had an offensive, he had a charge. He's just forcing up shots where I knew as soon as he forced it up, he didn't believe in it and he didn't make it.
AD, don't get caught up in, oh, be aggressive. You can be aggressive, but you got to be under control.
He gets his points in the flow better than he's so gifted. But he doesn't have that I'm going to slit your throat mentality. He needs to just get in a rhythm and stay right in the flow. Oh, I got this shot. I'll make this shot. Give me the ball, and I'm going to create.
Some guys are like that one-on-one. Jordan was a great one-on-one player. You score, I'll come back at you. Kobe, get your score. James Harden, that's their game. That's not AD. AD is a flow. Okay, AD, get to your spot where you want it. On the left block, okay, do what you do. That's what he is. But to try to get the ball out high and then try to go, I understand he had Jeremy Grant on him. He feels he can take him. But the guy had hunkered down, and you ran right through his chest. I mean.
Okay. So they switched Millsap onto AD for much of the night last night, and he's stout and he's physical and he's a shrewd operator because he's been doing this for a long time. He bothered him a little bit, maybe more than usual. Then the Lakers turned the tables in the 4th quarter, and I'm going to be curious to see if they go back to this. When they made their run, they started playing zone. Now, again, you can't play zone when Denver's just raining threes.
Well, I think the thing is that kind of like what they did with Houston, jump in and out of it, and it caught them off guard. I'm sure the Nuggets will be practicing and be expecting this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they started Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is a better matchup because he's able to bang more with Yoke. JaVale tries, but JaVale just doesn't have enough weight down low to stop him from backing him down. But Dwight needs to scale. You fouled a guy. They called a foul, and then you throw the ball over the top of the back. Skip, what the hell? Dwight, come on. And it's like every 1 to 2 minutes, Dwight Howard's going to get a foul. And they're ticky-tack, they're dumb fouls that he doesn't have to just play ball. You can't put this team on the foul line. And that's what they did, Skip. That's how they got the lead. Jeremy Grant had 10 free throws. 12 free throw attempts. Jeremy Grant.
He did. By far the most of any player on
the team. Skip, you can't allow a team's 3rd best player, if he's their 3rd, he might be their 4th best, to have 26 points.
Cannot.
You can't. Because
you better not allow Monte Morris to have 14 and make a couple of big threes.
Yes, 28, 22, 26. And you did a great job of control. But Yoke got it going early. Yoke did most of his damage in the first 3 quarters, Skip. And they got that lead, and so Mike Malone seemed to be very resigned. It's like, I'm going to let him rest in the 4th. And it wasn't until the Lakers made their run, it's like, we got to get somebody in, got to get him back in the ball game.
So in the end, this game to me came down to these 2 biggest superstars who are obviously his perimeter type players, LeBron, and he had 6 turnovers. Well, it's just too many.
He had 5 in the first half.
A lot of his passes are getting tipped up in the air because they are active on, they were more active last night. And then Jamal Murray. After the game, Mike Malone said, he's finally becoming a superstar. Last year, said Mike Malone, I'm paraphrasing, he said, I knew Yoke would be a superstar, but I didn't know whether Jamal would end up superstarring for us last year, but he is now. So last night he goes 28, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists.
He had some heck of assists because they caught him and they thought they had him dead right up in the air, and he looked like he bounces to Millsap. Or he bounces to Jeremy Grant. Skip, do you realize that AD did not take a shot after the 7-minute mark in the 4th quarter?
No good.
He had 7 points. But nothing. No shots. Remember, he got fouled on the 3-pointer attempt. He made 3 free throws.
He did.
17 is not enough. If LeBron has 23, he needs to be 23, 25 shot attempts. But I ain't worried. I feel I'm more convinced than ever we're gonna be remaining in the bubble for another 2 weeks.
This should be a cakewalk.
Hey, don't do this, Skip. Skip, I'm not gonna allow you to do that.
And I'm not gonna allow you to somehow try to spin last night as evidence about how hard the path is for LeBron.
It is.
It's not hard.
Hold on.
They should not have lost this game.
Hold on. So what do you say about the Clippers? They shouldn't have lost 4 games then, right? They lost 4. 3 straight. Let that sink in for just a second, Skip Bayless. The team that you said is a cakewalk beat the most mentally tough, the best two-way player, one of the best players. They gave up a king's ransom. And that team walked them 3 straight.
Maybe you should take heed.
Oh, I know what they represent.
Maybe you should be sweating a little bit.
I know what they represent. But if you're going to tell me they're going to out-rebound the Lakers by 19, if you're going to tell me the Lakers are going to turn the ball over like they did last night, okay, I'm going to say, Skip, we're going to have a ball game.
All I know is you have allowed them to feel real good about themselves right now.
Yeah, they smell it themselves.
Yep.
But you know, we put some deodorant on them.
Yep.
We'll cut that funk out. We're going to stop that. Watch Thursday night. LeBron had probably about 40-point triple-dub.
40 points?
I feel it.
I got a case on that right now.
40-point triple-dub.
Okay, I'll take under 40 for a case right now.
Give me 35.
35?
35 triple-dub.
You said 40. Why would I give you 35?
Because AD going to get 35 too.
Huh.
That's why. That's why.
Okay, I'll take under 35 tandem for both of them. They both have to go 35 or more. I'll take that.
Okay, I'm saying they'll have 70 points combined, those two.
Those two, 70?
70.
Okay, for one case,
Okay.
I'll do it. Okay.
You saw you coming,
Done.
Skip. You saw you coming.
Oh, you
Just
saw
like
me?
that.
Saw you coming.
All right.
Well, you didn't see the Nuggets coming.
No, I didn't see them playing like.
No, you missed that one.
Like they rolled out of bed. It's like, oh, we got a game to play. Okay, let's go.
No mercy. NFL.com released their offensive player rankings after week 2, and Ezekiel Elliott came in at number 5 after he had a total of 122 yards and a touchdown in the Cowboys' comeback win against the Falcons. Dak Prescott, who had 450 passing yards, 4 total touchdowns in the comeback, was not one of the 7 quarterbacks who cracked the list of 15 players. So Shannon, is Zeke more valuable than Dak right now?
He is, and I'm not so sure, Skip. I don't necessarily agree with the list because I think Kyler Murray, I thought Josh Allen should have been ranked higher than Zeke, considering given what they're doing. But for this argument, I've always felt that Zeke was more valuable than Dak, and their offense flowed better and ran better when Zeke was at the center of it, was the center of attention. And Skip, if you look at this, even though they were behind the lion's share of the game, they still gave Zeke 22 carries. He got 10 in the second half, behind by, 15 with 5 minutes to go. He still got 5 carries in the fourth quarter. So they didn't totally abandon him, and I thought that was good. So now the linebackers just can't hightail it out of there because there's a chance that we can run the draw or we can pitch it or toss it to Zeke, and he still run the football. So you just can't drop and try to get to your zone hooks in your area to cover. So I thought they did a good job of that, Skip. But we've seen this story. The Cowboys are at their absolute best when Zeke is running the football. Dak can play action off of that, and then he finds Amari Cooper wide open. He finds Michael Gallup wide open. He didn't have CeeDee Lamb last year, but if you look at the guys that he had in the slot, Randall Cobb last year, when they can run the football and they can play action off it, Dak is at his absolute best. Now, it's easy to say now, but I think, Skip, you say, well, I like Dak in this situation. Well, the defenses are different. When you got a big lead, Skip, you just said, we're not trying to give up no 60-yard touchdowns to let them right back in the game. At least make them chew up 5-6 minutes of the clock. But in the process now, you are allowing the guy to get into a rhythm because basically he's playing pitch and catch. And as long as he doesn't force the football into harm's way, you're going to be good. But I concur. Zeke is the straw, is the engine that makes this car run.
You have contended this for 4 years on this show. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I remain the biggest Dak Prescott fan. Again, I never said he's better than Mahomes. I don't even say he's better than Deshaun or certainly Lamar at this stage. But
he better than Kyler?
Boy, Kyler.
Yeah. Look at that, Dak. He turned it on you.
I'm not turning on anybody. I saw Kyler before you did.
He played.
He is something. He is a little force of nature. He's a little big man. And now finally they're starting, Cliff Kingsbury's starting to let him get out and run a little bit here and there, or maybe he's more comfortable because he's a great slider, because guess what? He got drafted in the first round to play baseball.
Yeah.
So he knows how to get down, as opposed to an RG3 who never could figure out how to slide and got crushed because of it.
Yep.
But now back to my man Dak Prescott. What he did in the second half the other day was just extraordinary to me, and I get it. There's not the intensity on defense. I get it, because they fell behind 20-0, and it was 29-10 at halftime. And Dak Prescott led this league in second half passing yards last year. It's what he does very best. But he was so extraordinary Sunday, because usually this is a recipe for like 3-interception disaster where you start just winging it and winging it. You'll try just about any throw to get your team back in the game. How many picks did he throw Sunday? How about a big old 0?
None, 0.
Right?
Yep.
So I appreciate that, because it's hard to do. It's hard to throw for 312 yards in the second half. I don't care who you're playing against Atlanta. It's still hard to throw for 312. Last year against Aaron Rodgers and company, he threw for 329 in the second half. It's just hard to do, man. It's just, I don't care who you are. That's top 5 kind of passing to be able to generate those kind of yards. It shows your heart. It shows your will. It shows your concentration, that you will not be deterred by the scoreboard. You just keep on keeping on, and you actually lock in a little harder and a little deeper because you're so far behind. Right. Okay, so I get what you say about Zeke, but I'm going to concede this. I told you after game number 1, that Sunday night at Rams, somehow he came back this year with a little bigger chip on his shoulder. He's running with a little new edge, a little different edge, a little more fury, a little more intensity. He looks a little quicker, a little sleeker, a little more powerful. I started to see flashes of 2016 Zeke, and it did my heart good.
Yeah.
But in the end, this is just me, this team will go as far as that quarterback takes them. I don't disagree with your premise. It helps play action, obviously, when you got 21 behind you, and they have to honor him.
Right.
They just do, because he doesn't have breakaway speed. He can't house you like he did at Ohio State. You say I hang on to those games. It wasn't even his last year. It was
his sophomore year.
Second year. Second year at Ohio State. Obviously came out after 3. But he just ran wild on Wisconsin, and he ran wild on Alabama, and wilder on Oregon. He had 246 against Oregon in their cross-country runs. Well, I don't see that guy that much anymore, because you don't see the 20-yard getaway runs where he just breaks it off and makes you miss in the open field. But in the end, my quarterback baffles me, because the only thing I need more from him is I need to see extraordinary passing right out of the gate.
Right.
I need to see him take over a game early instead of late.
And what you see, Skip, is that you keep saying like the second half. But they're saying it in the second half is because the teams are so far ahead, they just don't want to give up anything cheap or deep. Okay. And so now he's, like you say, ping, 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 ping. You want to see that in the flow, in the normal flow of the game.
I do.
Without being behind by 25, without being behind by 23. Yeah. Okay, Dak, it's 0-0. It's 7-0. Okay, go do what you do now.
All right. So just to reiterate, my nightmares of last year when they went 8-8, you were all over him early. Yeah. They go to New Orleans, and it's Teddy Bridgewater. Right. And it winds up 12-10 New Orleans. So my team and my quarterback scored 10 points on the road. That's not acceptable to me, and you crushed him for that one.
With that offense? Absolutely not.
Okay. At Jets, they fall behind 21-3. Unacceptable. Right. They're no good. Right. You're in Denver rooting your brains out up in the owner's box for the Jets on TV, right? And Dak rallied them, and they wound up scoring 22, and I thought it was a pretty good throw to Jason Witten on the 2-point try, but whatever, it got broken up. Right. And they lose 24-22. Unacceptable by everybody, but starting with my quarterback. Then they go to New England. I know the weather was foul, but he scores 9 points. It's not good enough with those weapons, right? Even though Amari took, he just quit, took himself out of the game. Then Buffalo, it's 26-7 early in the fourth quarter. That's Thanksgiving stage. That's your home game. That's what you feast on, right?
Yeah, hey, that's always one of the most watched games in football because everybody's around watching TV and
You can't
stuff.
do that. You can't. It's not good enough.
No.
Okay, and then Chicago. You remember what happened?
Yes, that was a
They're
Thursday
down-
night game.
the Thursday night, and it's a big stage, and it's a turning point. They had a real shot still to win the division because nobody's any good. The Eagles are still struggling.
And remember, it was reported that Jerry was up talking about at the front of the play, talking about how they were going to win this game and everything's going to be righted and we'd be fine.
Okay, because that's what the coaches were telling him.
Yes.
And it's 24-7 Bears entering the fourth quarter. That's Mitch Trubisky did that. And yet my quarterback threw for 180 yards in the fourth quarter. Well, to your point, yeah, it's a little easier.
Right.
He won't quit. He'll fight you to the death.
Right.
But it's not enough points that you're scoring when it really matters.
Well, it's kind of like a boxing, Skip, the old boxing analogy. If you give up all these rounds, unless you get a knockout in the final round, it's all for naught.
You better.
And so that's the thing. See, what we can applaud Dak for Sunday is that they gave up a lot, but he came back and won the game. So we're talking about how well Dak did this. But so many times last year, Skip, he put up comparable numbers, but they weren't able to get it across the finish line.
We're not. Okay, and it ended, obviously, at Philly.
Yes.
He had a bum shoulder. He couldn't practice. I give him a little bit of a pass for that. And he did miss the big throw to Tavon late. He was wide open, but he just missed him. And they scored 9 points.
Yes.
Okay, look at what I'm showing you. I'm showing you single-digit scores on the road.
You can't.
Okay, that's not good.
With that firepower, you can't do that.
You led the league as a quarterback in second-half passing yards, but your team went 8-8.
Right.
No good.
No.
If you were cashing all those passing yards into big dubs, big comeback, they were the comeback Cowboys, and they somehow went 10-6 and won the division and won a playoff game.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Right.
But then what did we see in game number one? It's a nip-tuck game all the way, and it looked like for a while they had a shot, and then it looked like the Rams had a shot, and yet in the second half of a close game, he threw for a grand total of 79 yards.
Right.
So help me out with the math here. 312 against the Falcons, 79 at Rams.
And that's what people want to see. Can we, when the game is right there, we're not talking about when a team races out on you and you just nickel and diming your way down the field. We're talking about when a team, you both guys are right there, neck and neck.
Yeah.
And they're continuously playing the defense, and you're trying to get something done. We haven't seen that consistently from Dak. That's what we're missing, Skip. We know he can throw for a bunch of yards when they're behind, but people want to see when the game is right there in the balance.
Yep. Okay, so my quarterback mixed my emotions even on the Sunday night opener because he pretty much stunk for the whole second half. They got nothing going until all of a sudden he knocks me out of my chair with the late throw to Gallup. And if we could see that one more time, because
that pass interference?
Yeah, you mean the one?
That's the pass interference.
This is the cheapest, wrongest pass interference that offensive pass on. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey
What
flopped. He flopped and he sold it, and the ref bought it.
Well, because you know why? Because they never got over that Hail Mary. Because you know Drew Pearson pushed that man down, Skip. You know he did.
You think that ref goes that far back? What was that in, like, 1975?
75. Yeah, the karma, though.
Karma got him?
Yep.
Okay. How good was that throw, though?
That was a great throw.
Hey, under pressure.
I mean, right on the money. Drop it.
I think it was 3rd and 10.
Yep.
And he hits him right in the hands, and at least it's going to go to overtime, I think.
Yes.
Because I think our new kicker can make that kick. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he can make it.
All right. So, again, but they lost. And the truth is, they should have lost this game against Atlanta.
Absolutely.
They should have lost it.
Yes.
They had no business winning the game, especially when we all step back and say, well, wait a second. You fumbled 4 times in the first 8 minutes, and you lost 3 of them. And Zeke fumbled twice, and I still don't know. The first Zeke fumble, I thought he lost it. I thought they awarded it to Atlanta, and the next thing I know, Dallas is running the play. And I say, I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure anybody knows. But the point was, if you do that, you're probably going to lose.
Yes.
If you run 2 fake punts and you miss on both of them, one at your own 29, you're probably going to lose.
Correct.
And if you go for 2, kind of go for the throat with 5 minutes left to cut it to a 7-point game and you miss the 2-point conversion, you're probably going to lose, and they should have.
And Skip, the thing is that because of the Falcons' blunders, it allowed us to take Mike McCarthy off the hook.
It did.
Because here we are 2 games into the season, and you're running a fake punt on your own 29. We were going to have some serious questions. Because you remember, Skip, he was at the helm when the Packers had that big lead in Seattle in the NFC Championship game, and they gagged that one away. And there were a lot of questions that were being asked about Mike McCarthy's play calling, Skip. They questioned him because he was not thought of at the tail end of his career in Green Bay like he was in the beginning with the great schemes and the play calling.
Yep.
So we would have had some more questions about Mike McCarthy and his play calling and his coaching ability, going for it twice, and especially on your own 29. Yep. Really? The second game of the season in the first half, Skip?
Okay. So here's my conclusion to what we just went back and forth on. Because they're lucky to be 1-1.
Yes.
I can't rank Zeke or Dak in the top 15 of offensive performers so far this year. I need to see a little more. I need to see 2-1 at Seattle.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray definitely should be.
Hey.
And Josh Allen, I mean,
Hey.
That was a performance on Sunday.
Well, by the way, I told you Cardinals will be a wild card team, and I told you my dark horse Super Bowl team out of the AFC, I told you is Buffalo.
Hey, wild card, hell, Arizona think about winning the division.
With that little man, he's probably thinking.
And Vance Joseph got him playing well on defense.
Yep.
I love seeing Kyler having the success he's having. I know it's early, but so far looking good. We will get back to the Cowboys later, but I want to go back to the Lakers' loss last night because the Nuggets brought the series back within reach against LeBron and the Lakers by winning Game 3 last night. Down only 2-1 now. Jamal Murray, after the game, said, quote, "We feel that we should be up 2-1 right now, to be honest, so we're just going to move on to Game 4. Shannon, how concerned should the Lakers be about the Nuggets?
The Lakers should be concerned, but they shouldn't be worried. The Nuggets are a good team. See, we got to get past this notion because the Lakers aren't playing the Clippers, they got a cakewalk. The Nuggets are harder than the Clippers for the simple fact Zubac is not even close to Yoke. And the thing is that they're 2 guys. If you look, I understand on paper, people might look at Kawhi as a Finals MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. But if you look at their playoff resumes, Paul George has come up small.
Yeah.
And Murray is getting better and better and better. And they had an opportunity down 3. They were up 3-1.
Yep.
And so the Nuggets having done this, Skip, no other team had done it twice in the same playoffs. They've done it. They've done it. So they feel very comfortable playing from behind.
Yep.
And now that they've got a victory, like, okay, we beat them. So that means we can beat them. That means they can be beaten again. And if we beat them once, twice, that means we can beat them 3 times. If you beat somebody 3 times, that means you can beat them a 4th time. So they're going to gain confidence as this series goes on if they can get another victory. Now, they've gotten this first one, and they're like, man, look at, and I'm sure they're looking at film like, look, if we don't turn it over here, we should have, you and Murray, y'all should have been out of the game in the 4th quarter because this game should have been a 30-point game, and you guys should have been resting up for Game 4. So I'm sure that's what Mike Malone is telling his team. They are a good team. The Lakers made some adjustments. They jumped into a zone. They started taking the ball away. The Clippers were not the Clippers. The Nuggets weren't prepared to see a zone, and they turned the ball over, boom, 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 like 4 straight possessions.
Yep.
And the Lakers got, a quick 3, got some layups. LeBron got a couple of dunks. And the next thing you know, Malone has to call a timeout because they're back in the ball game. And so for me, the Lakers should be concerned. And because once you get to this point, like I said, in a series, it's not like football. Skip, we've seen football. Anything can happen in a playoff game. Skip, a field goal here, a deflection there, and it's over. Your season's over. I don't believe the Giants could have beat the Patriots in that 18-0 season. I don't believe they could have beat them 4 times. But they didn't have to.
Yep.
Just got to beat them once. Do I believe the Nuggets can beat this team 4 times? I do not. But they do. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what I think. LeBron and AD will have to send a message on Thursday. Because if this ain't getting to be 2-2, you're creating a monster you didn't need to create.
For me, this is head or heart. My heart says the Nuggets are going to give you all you want. My head keeps telling me, just stop it. This will be over quickly, that LeBron and company will take care of business. in Game 4 and in Game 5, and it will be over in 5. I still say the Lakers are considerably better just because their two superstars are both better than the two emerging superstars for the Nuggets. But I will give you this on concern level. If Jamal Murray is becoming right before your very eyes that guy, if he's becoming a true superstar, the equal now of LeBron James at age 35, end of year 17. If Jamal Murray is equal to him, if he can create the same impact, the same electricity that LeBron can in a turning point Game 4, 2-2, 3-1, then you're in trouble, because that's what his coach is saying. He's become a superstar. And look at the clutch numbers. Do you realize that Jamal Murray has now hit 8 clutch time three-pointers? This is last 5 minutes, game within 5. He's hit 8 so far in the playoffs, and that's the second most in the postseason since Steph in 2016. So something's happening with him. And something's happening with this team, because in those clutch situations, Denver is, well, let's do it in reverse first. Your Lakers are the 3rd worst team in clutch situations in the playoffs so far. They're just not good. Closing, if it gets tight and close, for whatever reason, they get slow, they get stalled, they can't.
They're not a good shooting team.
The
Nuggets can
find
shoot
their way. That is true. So if you get them in a shooting contest or a free throw shooting contest, they are going to struggle.
Correct.
Meanwhile, the Nuggets have scored the most clutch time points in the whole playoffs. Well, you can see it because you face elimination games.
So
Look how many you faced.
Yeah, exactly.
7 now?
You come back twice from 3-1.
Yeah.
So you had to be good in clutch situations, or you'd have been home.
Okay. So,
You ain't good. You were great in clutch situations.
okay, so you got great in clutch versus shaky in clutch.
Correct.
Okay, so if Denver, that's how they feel. If we can just keep it close, we got it.
Right. That's how they felt with the Clippers, Skip. They felt if they could just get to the 4th quarter, and they were in striking distance, they feel with their shot makers, with Big Zoot, with Yoke, playing Skip, because people don't realize how good of a passer he is. So he's going to find guys cutting to the basket. He's going to find guys with wide open threes. And Jamal Murray, Skip, he's knocking down 3. You know, if he can pull up with somebody in his face from 28, what you going to do if there's nobody around him, uncontested? He's going to knock it down. And then Jeremy Grant knocked down a few last night. Monte Morris knocked down a few last night.
I agree.
So that's the problem that you have, is that if they get you in close in ball games, they feel with Yoke that not only can he take you and get to and go to the foul line, they also can make shots. And if you put them on the foul line, they can. And that's what hurt the Lakers. Skip, they won Game 2 because they were 16 or 17 from the foul line. They 12 of 17 from the foul line. They lose that ball game. Last night, they were poor again from the foul line. Hey, if you shoot 80% from the foul line, we might be having a different conversation.
So I want to give you 2 psychological turning points in the game last night, to me, and maybe in the series, both featuring Jamal Murray. Remember the flagrant he got? It was a flagrant one, so he didn't get tossed. But can we see that? Because
a little on purpose to me.
Okay, it did. I'll buy that. Okay, so LeBron sort of gets up into him, and he stood up to LeBron like, I'm not going to let you bully me. I'm not going to let you run over me. I know you're bigger and stronger than I am, but I'm not going away. I'm standing. I'm going to face you. And instead, he lost it a little bit, and he just kind of jacked him real quick.
He caught him with a quick bow. He caught him with a quick bow.
Threw a quick bow, and he got him pretty good. And to LeBron's credit, after the game, he said, I did not want to see him get tossed. I want to compete. I want their best out there. And again, was it the worst shot in the jaw you've ever seen? No, it wasn't. But it was a message saying, I'm not backing down from you. You can run over other people. You can't run over me.
We'll get him back.
Okay? Well, you can argue that. You can argue LeBron will take that to heart and be fueled by it.
We'll get it back. Because LeBron didn't see it last night. I mean, once he looks at it today, he's like, okay, that's how we're going to do this? Okay.
But he's showing you, yes, that's how I'm going to do this to you. So that was pretty significant to me. And then he gets the switch onto AD late in the game, if we could see the late 3. This is from 29 feet that looked like 35 feet to me. But he just stepped back and said, bombs away, and just ripped it, and then he's doing the Steph shimmy all the way up the court. Okay, this is in your face, man. He's clowning you. He says, watch this. I'm going to step all the way back on you.
Kentucky on Kentucky crime.
Yep, it was. And I'm going to shimmy up the floor because I got you. I shot you right in the heart, and you can't do anything about it.
Well, you remember, Skip, he hit that one on Kawhi when time was running out.
He did.
In Game 7, he hit one just like that, but it was a runner. But
okay, but you tell me, what does that do for the psyche of your team?
Yeah, oh, yeah. They got swag. They swagged out right now.
You know what it tells the rest of the Nuggets? We got Jamal, and you don't got Jamal.
Well, we go.
Okay? I'm just telling you, something is going on there.
Don't you worry about a thing, Skip.
8 clutch time threes he's hit so far in the playoffs.
Guess what? We're going to keep him out of the clutch time because it won't matter.
Okay? Well, you are highly capable of steamrolling this team and just saying, no, you just can't do it tonight. And you're capable of just making them just stop, where they say, we're just not good enough to compete.
And I think, Skip, also is that, Yoke beat them to the ball. Even last night, there were balls going up, and Yoke was racing the ball down and laying the ball up, and JaVale's looking around like, what happened? What? And then I thought Yoke, Vogel might have went a little too early to AD guarding Jokic because he banged on him and banged on him and banged on him. Bring Dwight in. Like I said, I'm going to be surprised if Dwight doesn't start because I think Dwight is a better option on Jokic than JaVale.
Okay.
And then Dwight, be smart. Be smart. None of these shenanigans. And also, you know what, Skip? I thought the Lakers complained too much, too. Bruss, you fouled him. Just line up on the line and let's go play ball. Stop complaining. Let it go.
You know, I can't criticize because it seems like everybody
They do.
does it.
Everybody.
It's like out of control.
I mean, Michael Porter Jr. hit the guy there talking about, what did I do? You ran through the guy's chest. That's what you did.
Do you remember back in, it might have been like 05, Commissioner Stern, the Empower, obviously late, great David Stern.
Right.
He issued a new edict before the year started, no complaints, and if you do, it'll be an immediate tech. And it got so, there were so many texts called in the first week, he finally had to say, we give up. Because everybody complains about everything.
They do. They're like, bruh, you just ran the guy over, trampled the guy. What happened? What I do? I ain't do anything. Stop it.
There's nothing I would like to watch more than the Nuggets take you guys to the cleaners the way they did.
I know you would. I know you would.
Nothing.
Whoa. So I guess that means it's not a cakewalk then. See, I'm glad you said that.
I just told you to open this show. I knew you were going to try to spin it to validate that it's not a cakewalk. It should be a cakewalk. That's all I'm saying. Should be.
So Tom Brady's last ring was a cakewalk because he should have been playing the Saints had they not gotten robbed instead of playing the Rams, right? So it was a cakewalk.
Wait, the Rams have the best player in all of football. What's his name?
Whoa, no. But I hear you say that.
Huh?
Drew Brees, what about Drew Brees in that offense? So he got a cakewalk by not getting Drew Brees in the Saints and getting the Rams.
Donald Aaron.
Nah. That's
it's Aaron Donald. I always get
you saw him on Sunday, opening Sunday night. They christened that building.
On the goal line, they smashed him and turned him 360.
Skip, do you know every time y'all open up a new building, y'all catch an L? You open up Cowboys Stadium. Eli hung an L on you.
Well, you have to open your own stadium.
You call the L. How you want? Hold on.
Eli went and carved his name in
Yes. And then SoFi, y'all opened that one up and called the L.
Well,
I mean, look.
No, the ref caught an L.
No, ref caught no L. Oh, no. How you gonna let somebody come to your house and they gonna eat the meal at your dinner table before you do? That's what happened. Eli ate before you did.
He did, but we got even.
No, you did.
He lost like 6 in a row.
Isn't that the polite thing to do, Shannon?
No. I mean, Eli just come in and just start eating.
No mercy.
Cam Newton is confident in his group of receivers. When asked if New England needed more help in the receiving group, Cam said, quote, the answer's in that locker room, and named several of his main targets. Cam has already shown he can do more with less by getting N'Keal Harry more receiving yards in 2 weeks than he had all of last season. He also helped Julian Edelman eclipse his career high for yards in a game by 28 yards, despite Edelman spending 10 seasons alongside Tom Brady. So, Shannon, is Cam doing a better job of getting more out of his receivers than Tom Brady did?
Well, so far it looks that way, Skip. I think the thing is that when you've been in a situation for such a long time, and Tom had been there for, let's just say N'Keal Harry got there for 20 years. And when you get to this position in your life, Tom, is about winning championships. Skip, if you look at most veteran players, LeBron doesn't like playing with young guys. He wants veteran players. That's why he was willing to trade Andrew Wiggins. And that's why he's willing to trade the #1 overall pick from 2 years ago to get Kevin Love. He wants veteran players. Yep. Tom is at the stage of his career, Skip. I ain't got time to be coaching guys up. I need guys to know what they're doing, and because we're trying to win a title. Tom, and that's how Tom looks at it. And sometimes as a young player, Skip, you just, instead of just like browbeating him and saying, get yelling and screaming, maybe you need Cam is put his arms around him and say, bro, this is what I need you to do. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I see. Tell me what you see. Yep. And Cam seems to have put his arm around him, embrace, because Cam is very personable. I don't know how much you've been around Cam, but Cam is very engaged, very personable, very charismatic.
The most of any quarterback.
Right.
He's got the biggest charisma.
Yes, he's infectious.
I think he has the biggest charisma of any I've ever seen. Seriously.
So, Skip, when you look at it, and maybe that's what everybody's leadership style is not right for everyone. And this doesn't make Tom any less of a great leader. It's just that the way he led maybe wasn't conducive for N'Keal Harry. And Cam's style is very conducive for N'Keal Harry. So this is not a knock on Tom. I think this is more kudos or a pat on the back for Cam that he's been able to tap into something and find an avenue into N'Keal Harry so he can say, it's okay, bro, I know you look, they took you in the first round. They took you there for a reason. Coach Belichick believed in you. So this is what I need from you, and for whatever reason, he's responded. Like I said, Skip, I don't want to go too far into this because this is N'Keal Harry's second year in the offense. He is healthy. Yep. All of those play a role, Skip, because when you come into the first round pick, Skip, you want to get off to a great start, and here I'm starting off on dang. They probably having second thoughts of why they took me. And then when you get in there, Skip, ain't no feeling your way out in New England. You hit the ground running 100 miles an hour, and he couldn't do that, and it seemed that I maybe have gotten in the doghouse with Tom. And so let's give Cam, this is not a knock on Brady. Brady is a great leader. He got the most out of a lot of guys. He's the reason why a lot of guys got Super Bowl rings on the offensive side of the football and on that team. But I think we just need to give kudos to Cam that he's been able to tap into something that N'Keal Harry can relate to. Okay.
I will restate what I've said after the first 2 Cam games. He has been astonishing. He was astonishing with his legs in the opener, and he was astonishing at Seattle on Sunday night with his arm and his legs. He threw the ball better than he did in the 2015 MVP season, to my eye. He threw it as well as he did his rookie year when he threw for 432 and 422 and 379. His 3 highest passing totals of his whole career came in his first 4 starts in this league, and I've never seen anything like that.
Right.
And he was back at it again, especially on Sunday night. I take nothing away, but now there's this deluge of articles from New England about everything is beautiful and Cam is better than Tom ever thought about being, because it feels like we're okay because it looked like you weren't okay. It looked like it was Stidham. It looked like Jarrett Stidham was going to be the starting quarterback when he struggled his last year at Auburn. Really, Bill? You're really going to try to force this issue and make him your new Tom Brady diamond in the rough that you discovered later in the draft? No. Cam came out of nowhere, fell right out of heaven into New England's laps for $1.05 million plus incentives. It's the so far it's the all-time steal of a deal at quarterback, right?
Yep.
There's never been a bigger steal than what Cam has been.
Former MVP for $1 million.
Okay, for $1 million. It's outrageously wrong, but it's so right now for Bill Belichick. So they got a chance. They're 1-1. They probably should have won that game. If Cam even said yesterday, I should have bounced it, you said immediately, should have bounced it. But he was trying to be a good company man. He was trying to do it the Patriot way. Right. And he raved yesterday about the Patriot way on his radio gig up in Boston. And he said, I love the Patriot way. It's challenging, but it's therapeutic for me because he needed this right now. This is the perfect restart for him in the Belichick culture where he can show you, I can do this my way in his culture.
Correct.
It's beautiful, man.
Yes.
Okay, we're only 2 games in, but so far so great.
I equate it to if you if you go to someone's house and you don't normally like take your shoes off. You go to if we all go to people's house, okay, take your shoes off. You leave them at the front door.
Right now, you come to my house, your shoes off.
Well, hey,
all your clothes.
Man, Ernestine might have everybody take a couple about everything here. Here's a roll.
Correct.
Yes. And then she gonna Lysol you down.
Yes, but that's about COVID. That's not about what you're talking. It's not about culture.
Yeah, right. Okay. But so when you go to New England, Skip, it's a different way of thinking. Ego is left at home. You don't check it at the door. You leave it at home because you might go back outside and grab it.
Yep.
So you leave that at home.
I agree.
You come in and you buy in wholeheartedly. It ain't me, it's we. And if we win, we win. Ain't no me win, but I had a great game. No, but we lost. No, that's not how Coach Belichick is. And Coach Belichick coaches everybody the same. There is no favorites for him because you know what? Coach Belichick said, there's going to become a time that I'm going to have to get up off you. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to trade you. I'm going to have to release you, not re-sign you. Yep. So let's not get too close. Yep. And Cam has always been the center of attention. At Westlake in Atlanta, he goes to Florida. He was a high recruit. He goes to Blinn. He's the guy. He goes to Auburn. He's one of the most sought junior college recruits in the history. And he wins the Heisman. He's national champion. So he's always been the guy. Well, he's a guy, not the guy. And that's different for him. But he says, you know what? I needed this. This is what I needed.
Yep. Okay. Now, I got to defend Brady a little bit here. And you were good to him.
Yeah.
You were objective about, hey, this isn't a knock on Brady.
No.
But I want to remind everybody, when they did draft N'Keal Harry, the first wide receiver Belichick had drafted in New England in 20 years. Or no, he'd been there for longer than 20.
No, he's 20. Yeah,
20.
20.
Okay.
Yeah, got
okay,
that.
First one, near the backside of the first round. But N'Keal Harry out of Arizona State, and I came in here saying, yeah, way to go. 6'4", 225. Little bit of a possession receiver, but he can run a little bit too. Could be a stud.
Right.
And right away in camp, he hurts his foot. I'm not even sure what it was, but it was bad.
Right.
And he goes, to your point, straight to IR, not to be seen again.
Right.
Wait a second, until week 11? We don't even see him.
Right.
He doesn't play it down until week 11. Well, by then, the defense is starting to show a little wear and tear. And it's starting to come apart a little bit, and it's not that on a historic roll defense that fell off the cliff that Sunday night in Baltimore.
Correct.
Remember that?
Yep.
Okay. So what happens? For whatever reason, he's a raw rookie. Tom Brady is demanding this level, and he's still down here.
He's like, you're a first rounder, bro.
Come on. Okay, now I'm going to point this out. There were all kinds of stories back in May, about a month after the draft, that Tom Brady had befriended and taken under his wing N'Keal Harry. And Tom posted on his IG pictures of them working out together. I think it was in L.A. with Julian Edelman.
Right.
So under wing, come on, let's go.
Right.
Let's get to know each other.
Right.
Let's figure each other out, just the way he did when he went to Tampa. So don't tell me he didn't try with N'Keal Harry, but then he lost him for the first 11 weeks of the year, 10 weeks of the year.
But, Skip, you know how it is, Skip. It's different when you're injured. It's almost as if you don't exist.
You don't exist.
Because you can't help us win. And Tom was like, and once he got back, Tom was like, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Tom was like to get
So Tom tried him 31 times down the stretch. He caught 14. That's a catch rate of 45%. That's horrible.
No.
Like anything below 50 is just hard. You know this.
You need to be in the 70s, the high 70s, 80s.
I don't know what your catch rate was for your career.
It was 45.
Hey, no, I will bet you it's 70-ish, 75-ish.
Yes.
And again, that's not always your fault or his combination, whatever. But that's no good. That just shows you not on the same page, right? Okay, so then we come to this year, and yeah, Cam was just good to him. He was nice to him.
Right.
And N'Keal responded to the warmth, because you want to talk about incandescent personality. So when Cam turns it on, like turns on the sun on you, it's like the power of the sun.
Right.
That all of a sudden N'Keal said, maybe I'm okay with this guy.
Right.
And here they went. And so he's thrown him already. He's caught 72% of his passes so far.
You can live with that.
45% to 72. Something is going on there.
Right.
And obviously Julian Edelman is off to the races.
Oh. And guess what? I guess what Julian Edelman is showing with Cam Newton, that Brady didn't make him.
So what was Julian Edelman last year? broken down, looked washed up. He had how many injuries going on? He needed shoulder surgery. He had cracked ribs, and he had a bum knee that I think he still struggles with, but he hadn't had surgery on it. He led the league in drops last year. Not on the same page. I don't know. He'd been on the same page with Brady all along.
Yes.
So he didn't help Tom last year. And by the way, Pro Football Focus said that last year's Patriot receivers were dead last in the league in what they call separation, separating from pass coverage.
If they're not dead last right now, they might not have been the problem because they ain't bringing nobody else but Demir Bird. But Skip, if I'm not mistaken, Bird was with Cam in Carolina.
He was. No, he was. So that's actually advantage.
Yes.
But they cut him.
Right.
Then Arizona cut him. And here he is. Okay.
But that's how Coach Belichick is operating, Skip.
Right.
You know Coach Belichick love taking somebody's trash and turning it into a treasure.
Okay. So my point is, you can't crush Brady for not having rapport with those guys last year. I think he was just doing the best he could with what he had to work with.
Skip, who did this remind you of? We just watched the documentary in June. Who was tough on young players? Because the expectations. I'm trying to win a title. You talking about you need to get ready. You need time to get ready.
About the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm talking about the GOAT. No. GOAT played last night. Lost one, took one on the chin, but we'll bounce back.
He didn't look goatish.
We'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. Something tells me the GOAT man might have some dreads on Friday. Yeah, I might get me a new one. Don't worry about it. I got something for you. I got something for you. You over there, Kiki.
I just hope you have a reason to use it.
Oh, I got some.
Yeah.
Oh, I already told you. I already know what he's going to do.
So my final point is, the way superstar quarterbacks work, if you let them down in key moments, you are done.
Yeah.
You are doghoused. What did you see on Sunday night, speaking of Cam Newton, on the other side? What happened early in that game? Russell Wilson threw his new tight end, Greg Olsen, formerly the favorite target of Cam Newton in Carolina. He threw him a football that hit him right straight in the hands, right?
Yep.
And went right through his hands, right to the DB, and housed.
Yep.
Pick six.
Yep.
And how many more targets did he get the rest of the game? He got one in the fourth quarter. He did get one, and it was an offensive holding that negated it.
But Skip, that's the thing, especially when you're new. He doesn't have the rapport. Russell doesn't have the rapport with Greg like he has Metcalf, like he has Lockett. And I think the thing is with Cam is starting from scratch. He's like, yeah, I need to build a rapport with all of these guys. But like I said, this is not a knock on Tom.
Yep.
Everybody, you know, when you're young players, and that's how John was. John, look, you in the ball game. If Shannon's covered and Rod's covered, I'm looking for you and you don't know what the hell to do. What you think I'm supposed to do? It's okay?
I got it.
I'm taking one to the chin. No, you need to know what you're supposed to do.
Okay. So Cam had an interesting quote and one that I loved yesterday.
Yes.
He said, when talking about his receivers, the answer for us is in our locker room, meaning we don't need to go get another receiver, okay?
Yes.
Love that he said that. Want to see if he'll say that in week 10 or 11.
He gonna say that. Because they probably be 7-3 week 10 of 11.
You think so?
Probably.
Probably not.
Probably have the same record, if not better than Tampa.
You think so?
Yeah, hey,
so.
we already
You got a lot to do on that.
What's the bet for that one, guys?
Go Bills.
All right. Okay. Interesting.
Hold on.
Go Bills. I just said go Bills.
Bills
That's all
now?
I say.
Why you
They're going to win that division.
Oh, let's go Raiders. Coach Gruden this week.
No mercy.
TV's #1 show is back, and the celebrities are the biggest yet. Plus, for the first time ever, a two-headed costume. Who's behind the mask? Don't miss the epic Masked Singer premiere tonight on Fox. LeBron put up his third triple-double this postseason, but it wasn't enough against the Nuggets last night. Denver led by 20 as late as the fourth quarter before LeBron poured in 13 points in a last-ditch comeback attempt. Jamal Murray finished with a team-high 28, 10 of which came in the fourth. Fend off LeBron and the Lakers and hold on for the 114-106 win. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us now. Chris, good morning. Tell me the biggest reason the Lakers lost this one.
Well, first, let me give some props to Denver. Jeremy Grant, 26 points, career playoff high. He was great. Jamal Murray, obviously, not only the 28 points in the late plays, but the 12 dimes. And Nikola Jokic did Nikola Jokic things. So I just want to give Denver props because the way the question's worded, we're going to talk about the Lakers. But I do want to admit that Denver played a great game. But for the Lakers, I could look at the 6 for 26 three-point shooting and say, look, whenever they don't get a few of the other guys to chip in with some big three-pointers or big shooting, they're going to have problems. But ultimately, I've got to point to the two stars, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron's line, if you just looked at the box score in the morning and didn't see the game, you'd be like, wow, another 30-point triple-double for LeBron. It was a great game. But if you watch it, you see this wasn't the LeBron James that we all know. He didn't dominate the game. It wasn't as big as the stats said. He played in spurts. So obviously he was poor in the first half with the 5 turnovers, which set a tone and let Denver get out in control of the game early. Then LeBron came on in the third quarter with a big spurt. They closed the gap a little bit. He comes on in the fourth quarter with a great spurt. They really closed the gap and looked like they might come back and win, but then he let up again. And so he played in spurts. He didn't control tempo. LeBron has been one of the greatest we've ever seen at controlling the game. That's been one of his great advantages over the other great players in the league today. He wasn't able to do that yesterday. He didn't do it in game 2 either. That allowed Denver to control the tempo, and they like to play fast. And they, I think, got the Lakers a little bit out of sorts because they were able to control the tempo rather than LeBron. And finally, I don't think LeBron attacked like I want to see it. We know Denver doesn't have rim protection. But LeBron took 2 free throws, and those 2 were on a flagrant foul by Jamal Murray that had nothing to do with an offensive play. So I think LeBron's got to be in a little more attack mode. And then the other star, a guy that some people now are saying is really the Lakers MVP. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. But Anthony Davis, to follow up that historic shot with 2 rebounds, it was like AD rested on his laurels. It was like he said, I've arrived. I'm the man now. I'm the king of the Lakers going forward. And he scored, obviously, 27 points, but they need more from him on the backboard. So I thought the 2 stars didn't give the Lakers what they needed, and that's ultimately why they lost.
Yeah, I've never seen a stat line 27, 2, and 1. Like in 43 minutes, 16. I mean, you think about it. 6'10" Anthony Davis, 6'10 and a half Dwight Howard, 7-foot JaVale McGee combined for 4 rebounds, Chris. Let that sink in for just a second. 4 rebounds between 3 guys 6'10 or above. That will get you beat. I thought the Lakers played hard for 10 minutes in this ball game, and that was 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. It was from 10:09 mark, basically skipped to the end of the ball game. That's the only time they played hard, because up until then, the Nuggets were getting whatever they want. For the longest time, the Nuggets were shooting 60% from the floor. So if you're going to let a team shoot 60% from the floor, you're going to get out-rebounded by 19. You're going to lose the three-point battle. You're going to lose the free throw line battle. That game should have never even got close. It was because the Lakers jumped in and out of the zone late in the ball game, caught Denver off guard, and they turned the ball over like 4 or 5 straight possessions and allowed the Lakers to creep back into the ball game. But I agree. If I just wake up in the morning and I look at this, I'm like, damn, LeBron was plus minus plus 2, 30, 10, and 10, 30, 10, 30, 11, and 10, has the most 30-point triple-doubles in NBA history in the playoffs. Woo! But, Skip, I keep it 100. Empty calories, though. They didn't do anything for me. They didn't satisfy my need. But I know what's going to happen. And I already told Skip, Chris, we already got a bet. The big 2 going to give you 70 on Thursday between the 2 of them.
Which way? LeBron's going to score.
It don't matter. No. We already got a case of do on this one.
I want to know what happened to Baby Goat last night.
Oh, Baby Goat coming through.
Baby Goat?
He might, Skip, he might have 20 rebounds. It might be a 25, 20, and 5. And LeBron have to bring us home with 45. Because you know he's capable of this, right?
Speaking of your man, LeBron James, it is now my turn to put in perspective what I saw in a very weird basketball game last night, because I saw the Lakers come out and not care about winning this game. I saw them resting on all their laurels and basically saying, we'll give them a game, then we'll come back and take care of them game 4, game 5, and this thing will be over. But they needed to kind of rest up in game 3, and they didn't really care, it appeared. And then something really crazy weird happened. All of a sudden, the Lakers fell behind by 20 points with 10:36 left in this game. They're down 20, and LeBron said, okay, that's enough of that. And LeBron looked goatish for the next 5 minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden, he looked nope-ish. Like, nope, I don't have that much. I just emptied my tank. So what happened? LeBron finally made a big three, and this is when they were desperately out of it. It was 10:05 left, and he made a three, and I thought, that's interesting, but that's not going to get him there. And then all of a sudden, they went on one of the great runs you will ever see in a playoff game because they're a decent team. It's hard to go on a 21-4 run over a 5-minute stretch of the fourth quarter. The Lakers turned into the Nuggets against the Clippers, right? All of a sudden, the Lakers were the team saying, here we come. And it was electrified. It was driven by LeBron James because he goes, break, dunk, break, dunk, break, dunk. And then he drives it, to your guys' point, he's the greatest driver of the basketball ever. And he drives it in. That happened with 5:26 left. Just an uncontested up off the glass. Jokic doesn't even try to get in his way. Here he is. LeBron just says, okay, I got Jokic. I got this. Jokic, you're done. And he just lays it up, okay? And all of a sudden, it's a 3-point game. And next up, LeBron, here we go again on Jokic. And LeBron says, I got you.
I was feeling good right here, too.
And then he has a step-back three. This is to tie the game. And he misses it way left. Okay, so look. If he makes that shot, you're going to win that game. I promise you, it would be psychologically devastating to the Nuggets to say, we just blew a 20-point lead and the King just made a three to tie.
And what? So it's at that point, Skip, then he'd hit that right there. So like 6 minutes, we blew a 20-point lead in 6 minutes.
And then a minute or so later, with 3:05 left, 3:05, LeBron has a shot in the lane that is his gimme shot. He creates space. He's got a little step back, fall away. It's just a little jump shot in the lane. This is going to cut it to 2, and I'm still thinking the Lakers got this. And he just missed it a little left, and that was the end of it. So, again, LeBron scored 11 points in the 21-4 run. That's hard to do, man. That is extraordinary. So I give you that LeBron nearly won this game. Then, for whatever, maybe he got a little winded. He didn't have the legs on the shot. He's not been hot from three of late. But if he makes that three, we're having a different story. I'm not crushing him. I'm not condemning him for this because he got them back into it, but he could have sealed the deal.
Well, Chris, I think you can agree with this. You can't let Jeremy Grant and Morris combine for 40 points. If you let that happen and their two superstars do what they do, you're probably going to lose the game because we can't get that. I mean, if you look at our third guy, whoever that might be, I mean, Kuzma had 11, Rondo, had a 9, and then we go 2, 3, 4. You can't let two auxiliary players, two others, go for 40.
Your third guy is Rondo.
Well, I don't know if Rondo can give us 26.
No.
So we got to.
He's capable.
Oh, but
third guy is a rotation.
Right. It might be Danny Green. It might be Caldwell Pope. Yeah. It might be Caruso.
Right.
But
it was Rondo for that when they went to that zone. Rondo for that. I don't know what it was, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yes.
That defense was incredible, and that got them, going back into the game. But you're right, Shannon. We said it. If they don't get none of the other guys really stepped up. Rondo was good in spurts. Kuzma's okay in spurts. None of them really stepped up and gave them what they needed, and that's consistent shooting. Just two of the guys, KCP, Danny Green, Morris, two of them need to hit threes consistently for the Lakers to be at their best, and nobody stepped up and did that last night.
All I got to say is Shannon Sharpe should be horrified by the fact that somehow the Nuggets hung on and won this game while your man Joker took one shot in the fourth quarter and missed it and scored 0 points.
But, Skip, look at AD. AD didn't take a shot after the last 7 minutes of the ball game.
Right.
Well, at least he scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but LeBron was doing that work. Once LeBron cooled off, we need AD to pick it back up. But that's okay. Hey, That's okay.
And look, guys, we see it all the time. We see it all the time where a team rallies from a big deficit, but then you're gassed.
You can spin up, yeah.
And that very well may have happened. I mean, Denver was playing up-tempo the whole game already, so I think them, the Lakers, I think it took a little bit out of them getting back into that game, and then they didn't have much left at the end.
Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6? Yesterday you said it was going to be a sweep.
No, I didn't say no sweep. No. You tried to get me to go sweep. Lakers in 6.
No mercy.
Sunday, we've got a huge doubleheader on Fox. First, the Bears take on the Falcons or other regional action. Then, Dak and Zeke lead the Cowboys against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in America's Game of the Week. Check local listings for the games in your area or watch it on the Fox Sports app. NFL.com released their offensive player rankings after week 2, and Ezekiel Elliott came in at number 5 after he had a total of 122 yards and a touchdown in the Cowboys' comeback win against the Falcons. Dak Prescott, who had 450 passing yards and 4 total TDs in the comeback, was not one of the 7 QBs who cracked the list of 15 players. Fox Sports NFL analyst and all-time great running back Eric Dickerson joining us this morning. ED, good morning. I'm going to start with you. Is Zeke more valuable than Dak?
Well, good morning. And I want to start with one thing first before I go there. Skip, you should thank me. You should thank the Ram ambassador and the Rams for 2 things. For Greg Zuerlein, because I said to some of my friends that the Greg Zuerlein is going to win the Cowboys in these 3 games this year. That's one.
Good.
And also for the best special teams coach in the National Football League, Jim Fossil. So you should be thankful for that.
And I appreciate what you did to those sorry Eagles on Sunday.
and beating the Eagles for you guys.
Yep.
So,
way to go. I owe you.
Thank you. So, and I'm gonna come back to that at the end of this broadcast, so you can make sure you pay me off. One thing is this offensive line is not the same offensive line that came to the league with Zeke and Dak. So therefore, Dak is more important. He really is, because he controls the football. When you watch the Falcons, you watch the Rams. If the Cowboys stay in that kind of hurry up offense like the Bills did in the 90s, the Rams had no answer for it. The Falcons had no answer. They could not stop it. That's at the end of the game, how they came back. They just kept that hurry-up offense. The Cowboys have what I call a triple threat. You've got Michael Gallup, you've got Amari Cooper, and you got CeeDee Lamb. I mean, and then, okay, if you want to stop those, let's go to Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, if you want to stop that, now we'll go to Dak. Not just Dak's throwing, but Dak's legs. And for Dak not being on this list, to me, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, over 400 yards passing. No quarterback in NFL history has done that. So most definitely, right now, he's the most important part of this offense, because this is not the same old Cowboys offense. They try to run it the same, but this is a different offense. This is a new day, and I hate to say that it's anyone's team, because to me, football is the ultimate team sport. But if you want to have to say whose team it is, I guess it's running around Dak Prescott for sure.
The thing that I like, Skip, what we saw in years past, when the Cowboys would fall behind, they would take Zeke out of the game themselves because they would throw. But if you look at it, the first game, 22 carries. This game, falling behind, 20-0, 29-10 at the half, Zeke still gets his 22 carries. 10 in the second half, 5 in the fourth quarter. So he's still an asset, whereas before, when they fell behind, they just took Zeke out of the game and just throw. There's still that threat of Zeke running the football, and that still puts fear into the teams that they're facing, because they just can't drop up out of there and try to get the hook and flat zones. They got to worry about the quarterback sticking the ball in Zeke's belly, pitching it or tossing it to him. So they have to hold, and that gives the receiver just a little bit more time, gives Dak a little bit more time. Plus, it keeps them from totally pinning their ears back to come and get Dak, because there's always that threat of running the football. I just think Dak is a lot better when they have the play action is very viable. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, in ED, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've always felt it was easier to come back from a big lead than hold it, because, the defense going to get something. It's like, look, nothing cheap, nothing deep. We'll make them nickel and dime. But in the process of that, you're allowing my quarterback to get into a rhythm. You're allowing me as a receiver to get into a rhythm. And we know this. Rushing the passer is a lot more tedious than pass protecting. So you're gonna slow down eventually, ED. And so I think that helped Dak a lot. Look, Dak played phenomenal. He took what they gave him. He did not try to force the football. But if you look at it, Zeke has averaged 120 yards from scrimmage in both games, 22 carries in both games, 3 catches in the first game. He got 6 in the second game, Skip. So he's still finding ways to be used, even though he's just not running the football. It's Zeke. You know it is, Skip. I know you hate it, but it's Zeke.
I don't know it. Eric Dickerson, the greatest running back I ever saw, also doesn't know it because it's just not the truth. I give you, Zeke helps make Dak what he is. But in the end, this football team will go as far as the quarterback carries them, and that's throwing it and running it, because finally they unleashed him again in the second half. And as Eric points out, he ran for 3 scores, 3 touchdowns. And as much as I love the way Zeke is running this year, he's running with an edge, with a passion, with maybe even a fury I didn't always or often see last year. I give you that. But look at his rushing totals. So he ran for 96 at Rams. He ran for 89 the other day against Atlanta. It's not like he's running wild for Eric Dickerson versus the Cowboys in the playoffs in 1985 kind of yards. Because help me out, Mr. Dickerson. What was that total that day?
27 for 248, 2 touchdowns.
248? That was on my team. I was there. I was in the press box, and I was in awe of this guy, number 29 for the Rams. I saw him at SMU because I covered him in Dallas. But you want to talk about running wild? Well, I don't see Zeke do that.
No, he ain't got that kind of breakaway speed, Skip.
Okay, so what my quarterback did on Sunday against Atlanta in the second half, it's 312 yards without an interception. Usually it's a recipe for 3 interception disaster. You're just throwing it all over the lot, trying to make something happen that isn't there, and they pick you off 2 or 3 times, or you get sacked, fumbled. And he didn't turn it over in the second half. And I got to tell you, it was a throwing clinic of accuracy and decision-making. And, Shannon, I give you, they've backed off a little bit. Maybe they're not rushing the passer quite as hard as they were because there's still some threat of Zeke. I give you that. But listen, this man, when he is right, and it's too often it's when it seems hopeless, but when he's right, he's as right as anybody. And I point out again, he led the whole league in second half passing yards a year ago. Unfortunately, some of it was too much too late, where they just couldn't get back, they couldn't get home. And Eric, my only quibble with you is, I'm sorry, I can't put my quarterback or my running back in the top 15 performers so far because they should be 0-2. They stole that game with the all-time onside kick phenomenon that I've ever seen. I don't know how they pulled it off, but it was like a trick kick. And it worked, and they stole it. And then Dak came up big, and CD came up big at the end, and that's great. And your man, Greg the Leg, saved us. And I hope he continues to save us with onside kicks and clutch field goals.
But here's the thing, though, ED. You better hope it's Zeke's team because the price keep going up. You at $40 million right now, Skip. You at $40 million a year.
I told you I'll pay him $50 million if we get to the Super Bowl. I will.
He's betting on himself, but look at it like this. You know, like I said earlier, they don't have that same line that they had when Zeke and Dak came in the league. So they can't run the football. Like, you're not going to see those big breaks or those big gaping holes like you did when Emmett played and Zeke first came in the league. This team really is you want to say it's a throwing football team. Or you're going to say it's a little bit of both, but I say it's more heavy passing the football. And they're better when they throw the foot. They're better when they get up on the ball and move very fast. I think this is a better football team when they do that. And Dak does not make a lot of mistakes. I mean, yeah, they got the onside kick. Yes, they kicked the field goal, but that's football. You know, Dak made it happen. I mean, Dak was the reason they got down there. Even though he didn't get the ball back, they got the ball and they were able to win that football game. It's because of their quarterback. And I think they complement each other very well. That's what I like about Dak and Zeke, is that they complement each other very well. And I don't think that if you ask Dak, is this your team? If you ask Zeke, is this my team? He's like, man, this is our team. And
true.
You know, you as a player, Shannon, man, you know, I hated that. You know, you the leader. I'm just a player on this football team. Both guys have a job to do, and both of them are doing their job very well right now.
So in other words, you believe they've turned into a finesse football team as opposed to a power running football team in 2016, 2017. Because Tyron Smith, Skip, normally it's his back, but now it's his neck. Zach Martin is not the same. They lost Travis Frederick.
They started two undrafted tackles.
Yeah.
in their first year.
You know what they have? They have three very good receivers. That says it right there. Three very good receivers. They could be a number one on most football teams. So that alone says it. I mean, what this team is right now. And I said this last week. I mean, a week ago, Skip, when we beat you guys. This is a very good football team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still trying to find their legs. They really are. Defensively, they're struggling some. But you know what? Think about this, Shannon. When you go on the road and you turn the ball over three times, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 9 times out of 10, you lose. You lose a football game. You're down 21 points. Oh, I love that. That's an okay. Let's keep piling on. Let's pad it on. The Cowboys found a way to fight back, stay in his foot. You would almost think I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm not, but
you are. I know that Texas, these Texas that he can't help it. I do it.
You see that team right there on this side? That's my team right there. That's Rams. Man, but they're a good football team. I have to call it like I see it. It is what it is.
So, Eric, the best point you made, I hope Mike McCarthy took to heart, because as you said, when they go up-tempo, when they go no huddle and just start rocking and rolling, they're hard to deal with. I would like to see that out of the gate at Seattle. Why not try to set the tempo early with up-tempo?
Well, you got to be careful.
Right. Now,
go a couple 3 and out, Skip, and you fall behind.
I'll take it.
Because you know your defense.
Well, we just fell behind 20-0.
Well, you get behind Russ 20-0, it's going to be like 40-0,
Well, how about let's go up 20-0 and see what happens?
No, Russ ain't going to let that happen.
Then you might be
In Russ, I trust. In Russ, I trust.
You already gave me 6. I'm good.
Hold it. Skip. Now, hey, this is what I want to ask you. So we got the Cowboys and the Seahawks. How about that bet, that dinner bet? Let's double down on it.
Well, I told you the referee can pay you off from the Rams game because he stole it from me. You get your dinner from that referee who threw that flag on Michael Gallup. Thank you.
Jared Goff got hit in the face. They didn't call that. And threw interception. They didn't call that.
Yeah. Skip, that's not how it works. We don't believe the refs around here.
Outrageous.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay ED for that.
No mercy.
For the second straight week, Pro Football Focus named Aaron Rodgers the quarterback of the week. According to PFF, Rodgers had perfectly placed passes on 27.7% of his attempts over the past 2 weeks combined, which is significantly better than the next closest quarterback. Rodgers is also averaging more than 300 yards a game, and the last time he did that was 2011 when he won MVP. So, Shannon, I have a feeling you're going to be happy about this. Can Rodgers keep it up?
Of course he can. I would be surprised what his number would be if he didn't have all those drops. Oh, drops are part of the game. Oh, my bad, Skip. I'm sorry. I don't know where I came from. Skip, this is not a hot streak. This is who this man is. And this notion that Aaron Rodgers has stepped off a cliff has greatly been exaggerated. Aaron Rodgers has played unbelievable. But there are going to be times that he doesn't have to throw the ball 30 times. Or 35 or 40 times in a game because Aaron Jones is going to run the football. Minnesota did a great job of week 1 of taking Aaron Jones away. And Aaron Rodgers throws for almost 400 yards. And I think he was player of the week. And then comes back, and Detroit, they can't stop the run. And Aaron Jones runs wild, and Aaron Rodgers does what he does without Devontae Adams because Devontae hurt his hamstring in that ball game. So I'm not surprised. Scored 40 points in both games. You got to go back, I think, to the 2013 Broncos, in which you got someone open up the season with 2 40-plus point games, Skip. But Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He can throw the ball. He can still make all the throws. He's still accurate outside of the pocket. And the Packers are doing a very good job of protecting him. He's only been sacked once. He's only has 5 hits. Juxtapose that with Jeff Driscoll, who got sacked 7 times with 19 hits against Pittsburgh. When you can leave this man upright, this is the kind of production that you're going to get.
All I hope is that Aaron Rodgers stays hot for one more game. Sunday night at Saints.
I knew you always had a best.
I need Aaron Rodgers to go beat Drew Brees and company just one time.
Y'all not going to win. Hold up. Y'all not going to win Sunday. So what does it matter?
Who's y'all?
Tampa.
Oh. Wait, you just said Jeff Driscoll and neither starter.
No. Oh, y'all play. Oh, I thought y'all played. I thought y'all played the Raiders.
No. We're at Denver against your Broncos. You're Jeff Driscoll. Say it again. How many sacks? 7 sacks, 19 hits.
19 hits.
Okay, here comes Todd Bowles' defense. We'll see how you like that.
They go pressure.
So here's the point. This game has been bet down on Sunday night from Saints by 3.5 to only Saints by 3 because people are saying what you're saying. Aaron Rodgers is back. Well, he better be back for one more game because I need him to throw the biggest Mardi Gras party down in the Superdome you have ever seen.
Skip, it's still early, so what if he beats the Saints? It's still early.
It's okay. I just need the Saints to fall to 1-2 because I have told you the Bucs are going to win that division. So that's all I care about right now. And then maybe Aaron will step right off the cliff the way he has been the last 4 years. Hot starts followed by tapering off, followed by falling off the cliff at the end of the year.
I'm trying to figure out when was 26 touchdowns and 4 interceptions with 4,000 yards and a 13-3 record dropping off a cliff.
I'm going to read from Pro Football Focus back on June the 8th. What they wrote about Aaron Rodgers going into this season.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has become ever more evidently part of the problem in Green Bay, and his own team spent the offseason laying plans to minimize his role in 2020 and replace him beyond that. Rodgers finished the regular season as the number 9 ranked quarterback. That's last year. And he was just 17th ranked from week 8 onwards. Fell off the cliff last year.
Hold on.
We've seen hot starts before.
Hold on. Isn't that why Tom Brady got upset and wanted to get up out of New England? Because Coach Belichick was going to minimize his role because he was becoming part of the problem?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm going to trust Coach Belichick more than I trust Pro Football Focus.
Love, and by all accounts, I was not there, so I didn't see it with my own eye test, but they said he didn't exactly light it up in their little training camp that they had in Green Bay. So maybe he's no early threat to Aaron Rodgers, but let's see what happened.
He was never a threat.
Okay.
You're making it seem like he got Mahomes. You can see, we'll find out.
We'll find out. But Aaron Rodgers started off at Minnesota against a rebuilding mess of a secondary of the Vikings.
Oh, that's rebuilding.
Yep, and he had a QBR of 92, which is really good. He was 32 of 44, 364. But then he goes home against Detroit, and he's not that great. It's 18 of 30 for 240. It's okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but the real MVP, Aaron Jones, as you said, he ran wild, 18 for 168 yards.
I just want to know.
See, that's beyond Zeke. And then he caught 4 balls for 68 more. That's 236 total yards.
Can I ask you a question?
From the real Aaron Jones.
Can I ask you a question? Does Aaron Rodgers have more touchdowns than interceptions? Because I know a guy that you're talking about is playing great is tied at 3-3. Yeah. Do you want to call out his name, or should I?
6-0. Or should I call out the completion percentage so far by the star who is Aaron Rodgers, who is dominating pro football? His completion percentage so far is 67.6%.
That's great.
That ranks 14th in the NFL.
That is great. What's your guy?
I don't care what this is about Aaron Rodgers. It's about Aaron Rodgers. You're having to change the subject because I have you on the run yet again.
Skip, my guy, hold on. My guy is 2-0, leading his division, who has no interceptions, averaging 300 passing yards a game. He's probably number 1 in QBR, or very high, and you're talking about he's what?
Last year, he finished 18th in QBR with a career-low 54, and he was 21st in completion percentage with 62%.
He was finished 18th in 54 QBR.
Yep.
I know the guy that finished 1 spot behind him.
It's not about him.
Oh, it's not about. But,
no, are we talking about is Tom Brady washed up?
Let me ask you a question. My guy's 2-0. My guy got 6 touchdowns and 0 picks. How many touchdowns your guy got?
My guy had to open at Saints with no preseason.
He the GOAT. No, you told me, said what we do when we measure GOATs, we measure them in the highest form.
Yep, he's a 43-year-old GOAT.
Whoa, no, we don't do age. We don't do age here, Skip.
Yep.
All we do is GOAT. Is he a GOAT or is he not a GOAT?
So they're saying Devontae Adams is supposed to be okay, so he will be there, ready to rev up and go. So I just need your guy to do what my guy couldn't do on the opening day. I need him to go in there and just light them up. It's Sunday night football. I need him to go Cam on New Orleans.
So kind of like you doing rooting down inside. You want the Nuggets to do what your team couldn't do. Advance and get to the Western Conference Finals and try to upend the Lakers. That's what you're doing secretly.
I want the Nuggets to do what they did to my team.
Why would you want that?
Because it would be a pleasure to watch you suffer. Because I wouldn't have to see a goat mask until next year.
Unfortunately, you're going to see it. You're going to see it on Friday.
Really?
And then you're going to see it again Monday.
Is that your prediction?
Nah, I'm just going to say you're going to see
it. Now you went back to 5? Or
within in the next week, you will see the goat mask this many times.
Twice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got to get a Jokic mask.
No, for what?
Yeah.
Did you just like leave
'Cause
your
the
mask?
yolk will
You
be
get it
on
waving. You'll get it waving, leaving the bubble.
Shannon, like, is it in your dressing room? And then if you need it, it's there.
I got one at home, too.
Wait, take it home.
I gotta get a baby goat. I gotta get a baby goat for AD.
Really?
Yep. I'm gonna get a baby goat mask
For
today.
Jamal Murray?
No, for AD. AD gonna have 30. AD gonna have probably about 30. I'm saying 30, 15, and 5 for tomorrow night.
Well, then LeBron's going to have to go 40, 15, and 10, right? Is that what you want?
You ain't like
Is that your prediction?
I'm predicting Celtic Game 6 LeBron.
Oh.
That's what I'm predicting.
Well, we have one case of do bet on 70
I ain't bet
points.
no, but I'm good.
70 total.
I'm good. I'm
LeBron
good.
and AD. Do you want to go LeBron 40 plus for a second case?
Nope. Cause I can just feel. You know what? I'm doing the show for home Friday.
I think Jeremy Grant is probably
We're not
watching
doing
right
that
now, and he
anymore.
says he's going for 40 on me.
Yes.
No mercy.
This week starts Saturday strong with a huge doubleheader on Fox. First, Oklahoma looks to avenge last year's loss to K-State on the big noon game of the week. Then the Longhorns take on the Red Raiders only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. LeBron finished last night's Game 3 loss with a 30-point triple-double, making him the first Lakers player to ever achieve the feat twice in the same postseason. The King also scored 20 of his 30 in the second half and 13 in the fourth quarter. So, Shannon, give LeBron a letter grade, please.
C minus. A loss.
C minus?
C minus. A
I'm
loss.
shocked.
Don't be shocked. A loss is a loss. He had a good stat line, but the stat line didn't have the impact on the game. And if you watch the game, you know those 30, 11, and 10 was not impactful. And the game had gotten away, and they made a run of it. And so he got a lot of his time, like I said, with Dak, and any player that gets a lot of his yards when the game is seemingly out of hand is that those are empty calories. So that didn't do it for me. But it just goes to show you the expectations that I have of LeBron and the bar that he set for himself. How many people would love to have a 30-point triple-double? Only he has 2, Luka has 1 in the playoffs this postseason. And so for me to give him a C because he had 5 turnovers in the first half, that was one of the reasons why the Nuggets were able to get this lead because of the turnovers. And I just didn't think he was as engaged as he needed to be for the Lakers because he's the tempo setter. They follow his lead, and he didn't seem engaged early on, and they followed his lead, and they didn't seem engaged. And once they picked up the intensity for 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, he got going, they got going. That's not good enough. The expectation that I have for LeBron is that I expect him to be great. And last night, he was great in spurts, and I need greatness throughout the course of the game.
Wow. Wonders will never cease. Shannon Sharpe says C minus for LeBron James after he goes 30, 10, and 11. Missed trip dub, visits the bubble once again. 30, 10, and 11. And in the fourth quarter, he makes 6 of 8 shots and scores 13 more points. What? And you went C minus? Are you trying to motivate him?
No.
Relight the fire?
I think the thing is, Skip, if he would have spread that out, if he'd have said had like 15 points, because we've seen him dominate the game. We've seen the impact that a triple-double that he has can impact the game. Skip, come on. We saw that game. If you watch the game, he got a lot of those. They were down by 20. If he doesn't turn the ball over, if they're more careful with the basketball, then they're not in this position. And that 30-point triple-double has impact. I don't think that it had the impact that it normally would have.
So I figured you would be outraged at me as the #1 LeBron hater.
You are.
Because I wrote down C+. And I deliberated because I almost went B- because LeBron James, your man, led the charge in the fourth quarter from down 20 to down 3. That's a 21-4 run.
Yeah.
Even though he had played half-hearted defense in the first half, even though he had turned it over 5 times in the first half, all of a sudden, he shifted into the highest goatish kind of gear, and he scored 11 points in a 5-minute run that went from 97 to 77 all the way to 101 to 98.
Yep.
It's a 3-point game, and I believe he did just run out of gas, lost his legs a little bit, because then he took the 3 to tie the game. And I'm convinced if that rips cleanly, it's going to rip the heart out of the Nuggets, and this would be 3-0. But he missed it wide left, and then he missed a little shot in the lane, a little 8-footer that could have cut it to 2. And the Nuggets said, we got this because he just hit the wall.
Right. Well, and the thing was, Skip, you knew they were going to try to make a run because AD normally starts the fourth quarter on the bench, and he normally sits out for about 3 to 4 minutes. But he started.
Well, so does LeBron.
LeBron starts. Normally, AD
always
plays.
Starts?
Yeah, LeBron always. AD plays the third, sits the first 4 minutes of the fourth. LeBron, he will come out about 5 minutes left in the third, and then he'll come back in with about a minute and a half in the third.
Did he
LeBron
didn't rest at all. He played 12 straight because usually they'll at least give him a blow right at at the 7-minute mark.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so
he and AD both played basically the entire fourth quarter. So you knew they were going to try to make a run. Okay, and I think Frank Vogel says, look, guys, if we can get this thing to 10 within the next 6 minutes, I'll leave you guys in. They did him better than that. They got it all the way down to 3 with about 5 minutes to go in the ball game. And like you said, I felt if they could have just tied the ball game, but the Nuggets always had that luxury. Well, we still got a lead. We still got a 1-possession lead. If they could have just tied the ball game, and then you just know, like LeBron had it, Skip. They got the ball, got a rebound, and LeBron tries to pass it ahead to KCP, and Joke tips it, and they come back the other way. That's a possession that we didn't get an opportunity. They got the layup. You got a 2-on-1. AD passes it back to Rondo, and Rondo fumbles the ball out of bounds. It was just one of those kinds of night. But I just need Bron to play a little cleaner game in the first half, and I needed to be more assertive. 7 shots, that ain't enough. Going to get 12, 14 shots in the first half. I need him to have something like 25, somewhere between almost 30 shots. He and AD.
So you're saying he had a Dak Prescott game in which he had a lot of second-half empty calories, right?
Yeah, I said that.
And somebody across from me sounds like he's getting a little more nervous about what the Nuggets are capable of.
I got Bron and y'all don't.
That is true.
Yeah.
You do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah. Because so at the end of the day, it's kind of like, the Jamaicans always felt that we got Usain the ankle leg and nobody else does.
Okay. Well, guess what? The Nuggets are saying we got Jamal and you don't.
Okay, y'all have Jamal. I take GOAT. Jamal is unbelievable. Y'all yoking Jamal gonna be great for years to come. But my guys ain't going nowhere. In the words of Elton John, I'm still standing. You remember that song?
Do I?
Okay, I'm still standing. We're gonna be standing.
Listening to that song yesterday.
Yeah.
It just makes you happy.
No mercy.
A few extra days off. The Heat and Celtics will resume their series tonight after Boston won Game 3 Saturday. The Heat hold on to a 2-1 series lead and have yet to lose back-to-back games this postseason. So, Shannon, who you got? Who wins tonight?
I'm trying to figure out how they get the extra days off.
They got a bunch of...
They got a bunch of days off. Well, I mean, what did it? Do your Lakers a favor. Adam said we playing all these night games back to back to back to back.
Everybody wants to see the king.
I know they do. I'll take it to Celtics. Kemba got it going last game because he's been struggling. He's been struggling. Jason Tatum has been playing well. The other guys had been playing really well. It was Kemba that had been struggling, and that's why they struggled in the first 2 games. He finally got it going. He's shooting better from the 3-point line, and I expect the Celtics to tie this series up tonight 2-2.
I do not. Celtics are favored by 4. I am not jumping off the Heat bandwagon. Even though in Game 3 they failed to show up for the first time in this whole playoff run, even though at the end of the game they did put it back in gear and they cut it to 5 with about a minute left, and then there was just too much Kemba down the stretch. Tonight will be Jimmy Butler's night once again. I think they will rise and shine. You will see a very different Heat approach and mentality out of the gate tonight.
Well, you have that confidence about the Lakers. Last night was the first time they didn't really show up defensively, and you already writing them off. But now the Heat, they're going to get things on the right track.
I like the Heat to be up 3-1.
Well, I picked the Celtics, and I'm staying with the Celtics.
I like what the Heat are made of, and maybe they could actually give the Lakers a little bit of a scare in the final.
Well, actually, I feel the Celtics. With Tatum, Smart, Jaylen Brown, and now Kemba has found his stroke. I like the Celtics. I like the Celtics. You want the points? For a case of dude, I give you the points.
You will?
Yeah.
Done. Thank you.
Gotcha. Saw you coming. I get him every time. He falls for that every time. You think
I'm only up 42 cases.
I don't know if you can say you get him every time.
I get him every time.
Shannon, that's just
I just need to be right with this Lakers pick, and I'll be good.
I need to have a graphic of all the bets around here. That is all the time we have for today. We're back same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Have a good day.